you're considering a career in management consulting, then the hardest thing that stands between you and that coveted offer is the case interview. The most stressful part of the interview is the case math question, but you can easily breeze through this part of the case with plenty of practice. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to use ChatGPT to generate an infinite number of practice problems of the most common tested case math concepts. I am Remona Moodley, a former McKinsey consultant and interviewer, and I was in your shoes not so long ago. My career in consulting changed my life. So subscribe to my channel and hopefully it can change yours too. The key to success in the math problem is practice. We usually have a small number of cases to practice with. And say you're asked to calculate the payback period of an investment, but you get it wrong. The best thing to do is figure out how you went wrong and then to try again on a similar problem. But where are you going to find a similar problem? It would be like looking for a needle in a haystack. This is where ChatGPT comes in. We will jump into ChatGPT shortly, but first let's look at what a typical case math problem looks like. There are usually two main formats. One where you get an exhibit of data, like a table or a chart, and then you're asked a question where you need to pull the data that you need from the exhibit. The other is where the context and the data that you need are provided as a paragraph. We are going to focus on this type because this works best in ChatGPT. Next, these are the most common problem types tested in consulting math. You will need to make sure you are comfortable with identifying these problem types and are familiar with the equations to solve them. Now we need to know what good looks like because not all ChatGPT generated questions are good ones. So this is to help you quality check your questions before solving them. Let's look at a typical example of a case math question. For this, I went to the McKinsey website and found this Beautify case example. If you would like to solve it, visit the link in the description. But for this video, we are only going to look at the characteristics of a typical case math question. Up here, you can see the question context. Next, you can see some of the key numbers that you need to solve the question. You will see in this question that we have a single clear ask to solve. When I've done this before in ChatGPT, I get multiple questions building up to an answer. So if I ask something like a profitability question, ChatGPT will give me a series of questions that build up to ultimately getting to profitability. But that's typically not how it's done in a consulting case. There's usually just one clear question. So we want to quality check for that. Next, you will notice that the case tests for comfort with many zeros, so big numbers. And cases love testing for comfort with big numbers, so you might as well get as much practice with it as possible. And then lastly, the calculation needs to have 3 to 5 steps. Sometimes ChatGPT gives me problems that have just 1 to 2 steps to solve, and that's just too easy. So these 3 things will form part of our quality check after we get a question to solve back from ChatGPT. So imagine you're trying to solve this equation and you didn't quite get it. You will see that this is a payback period question. So we need to generate another payback period question so we get a chance at practicing this again. So let's talk about our ChatGPT prompt that will generate a similar problem. So we will start with the context, which is I'm preparing for consulting case interviews and I need to practice case math. Next comes the ask. And here you have 2 options. You can copy and paste your old question and ask ChatGPT to generate another example just like it. So you could say, can you generate a payback period problem for me to solve similar to this? And this is where you will insert your question. So I copy and paste this into ChatGPT, and this is the problem that I get back to solve. So before we jump into solving it, let's quality check it. You can see here that there is a single question I'm asked to solve. You can see that we're testing for multiple zeros, so these are big numbers that I'm going to have to work with. And I can tell here that it's probably going to take 3 to 5 steps to solve. I can see they're giving me numbers in multiple places, and then knowing the payback equation formula, I can see that I'm probably going to do 3 to 5 steps of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division to get to that payback period. So this looks like a good question to solve, and I can go ahead and solve it. If you are finding this video helpful so far, please take a moment to like and subscribe. All right, Back to it with option 2. In option 2, we're going to generate a case question from scratch. So we will start with the context as before. Then we will ask for a case math question by selecting a problem type and industry. It's good to become familiar with different industries and terminology so that you feel more prepared for any case that comes your way. So let's select payback period again as the question type. And for industry, I'm going to choose oil and gas. I got this list of industries from the McKinsey website. So you can generate infinite case math questions by varying the question type and industry. And in this way, you're killing two birds with one stone because you're getting really familiar with the equations and the concepts. And then you're also getting really familiar with the many different types of industries that your cases might be on interview day. All right, so let's try it. I'm going to paste this into Chat GPT, and this is what we get back. So let's quality check it. I see here there is a clear single question. They're testing for many zeros, and I can tell there are 3 to 5 calculation steps. Great, so I can go ahead and solve this now. After you generate the prompt and you've quality checked it and solved it, you can put your answer into Chat GPT, or you can ask for the solution and then you can compare that to see how you did. And there you have it, 2 options to generate infinite case math problems for free using Chat GPT. I have many videos on case math, so be sure to watch my playlist on case prep and check out the helpful resources in the description. All the best with your case prep, friend, and see you in the next video.